Hi, everyone. So, something a little sad is happening. Um, there's this dude that lives across the street, or at least he did until today. And I know I've talked about him many, many episodes ago. Probably at least once a year he gets a mention because he always brings us blueberries during the summer. And every summer, he would go wherever you go get blueberries out in the wild, and he'd go pick a whole bunch, probably some blueberry farm, and then bring them all home and wash them and stuff. And then he just goes up and down the street and gives everybody a little Tupperware container of blueberries. Um, I mean, I know him beyond that, but like the poor guy just got a terminal cancer diagnosis and he's got like less than a month to live. They already moved him out of his house across the street to like a hospice care. It just happened so quickly. And I've always felt like he's autistic and he's been retired from the post office, but he's not out of his 60s. He's like a young guy. And he had had eye cancer in the past, like his dad. And then years later his dad ended up getting like liver cancer. And so Tommy was like, "Yeah, I had eye cancer and I feel like if I ever get cancer again, it's going to come back in the form of like the liver." And that's what happened. And it's really sad. It just came out of nowhere, like I pay attention to like the people on the street and their habits, as I'm sure that's typical neighbor stuff. We just pay attention to what other neighbors are doing. And I've always liked the guy. He lives by himself, lives in the house that he grew up in, that his mom died in when he was the only sibling taking care of her. And he would plant mums every year, alternating colors in a row, same spot every fucking year, and I would just spend the summer watching them grow. And um I know when he would mow his lawn, like the days that he usually did it on. It's just like it's weird. And I'm sad, but not like I didn't know him. Like Janice and Nadine, that's like family for them. Like they grew up with this guy. Well, Nadine did, because Nadine's like younger and around Tommy's age. And so that was like her first friend, she said. So it's really sad seeing them go through something like this. Seeing all the cars from other family members coming in and out of the driveway over that house. And um I feel like people are like fucking dropping like flies on this street, like shit. But like, seriously, fuck cancer. That poor dude. Never see him again. Like, like what the fuck? Like this time last year, I think is when the guy next door died. I think that was last year. Like my sense of it was at most 2 years ago for him. But like every year, something's going on with somebody on this street. And Alicia pointed out to me the other night, she's like, "We're like the youngest ones on the street." I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't even think about that because it's true. We are like the youngest. We're in our 40s, so it's an older suburb area. I don't know. But anyways, so I was doing some thinking and I was like, gosh, it's just a reminder. Not that there aren't enough reminders in my face every fucking day with like the disgusting news about the fucking war and just all the bullshit. It's not like I don't have enough reminders, but you know, we've known this dude as long as we've lived here, many years. And just like that, cancer's gonna take him. And so I was like thinking about how many things I don't do currently because of my anxiety and how, like over my life I've had to go do things. Like I went to college, different jobs. I was out of the house every day like a lot of people are, going to work, coming home. I did all that stuff, and then I left the traditional workforce and I started working from home, and I got too comfortable with not having to do any of that stuff that I never fucking liked doing. To the point that, like, I'm too comfortable in my habitat, which it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I mean, if you've been listening along, at least maybe for like the past, like, maybe this year or something, I had to work myself up just to be able to go down to pick our nieces up to bring them here for visits and stuff, like, because I'd never driven down to that area before. Like, you guys remember, I was on here like talking about it, like, okay, I think I'm gonna do it next time. And by the way, I don't remember if I said this before, but it's just I feel kind of disappointed that I worked myself up to being able to do that. And then I did it more than once. And then because of how mind fucked I got with, like, just feeling like, just after what happened when I attempted to go down there to do something with the girls, and then how Alicia's sister was acting and how that, like, really fucking triggered my shit. And I realized I can't go down there anymore. Like, I can't. I just can't. And it's disappointing. But, and that's still an up in the air situation because we haven't had any visits with the girls. Me and Alicia are like working on our communication because it's been rough for a bit, but we're coming back around. And I just told her, I know this is a tangent. Sorry, because I was talking about Tommy. It all relates. But maybe I should turn my phone down or off because that's annoying. Well, anyways, I thought about that and I was like, I was able to do it. There's lots of people that just go wherever and they did this on a regular basis, and there's no reason why I can't, like, do some things that make me feel anxious and work through the anxiety. So anyways, so since I haven't been going down there to see the girls because, well, maybe that's for another episode. There's nothing bad going on. It's just I just can't go down there. I have to put myself first. I have to put my mental health first. And it's just a boundary that I have to create for myself. I just can't be anywhere near her sister. Really, that whole area, because, like, her mom still lives over in that area too, and, like, eh, it's just I had I that 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 kind of did it for me, that last almost trip that I did down there. But anyways, so I was like, if I can do that, I can do other things. And after what's happening to this guy, this poor man who's just been minding his own business, living his quiet life, and then fucking cancer's taking him out, I'm just like, this can happen to anybody. It does. It does happen. It, to anybody at any time. And at the very least, I want to do some things that I haven't been doing just because it's easy to give in to anxiety and let it keep you at bay from doing things. So I've been wanting to get out into nature more, and well, let me just back up real quick. I haven't been sharing some stuff. So that doctor appointment that I had blood work done. This might confirm some things for some of you out there. Not that I think you're that invested in my life. I don't fucking know, but basically I have high cholesterol because of my bacon addiction. And the good news is it was only 3 numbers above where the high point starts for the numbers for the cholesterol. Like, I don't understand all that, but I at least understand that part. So I'm at the beginning of the high range. And I was like, okay, this is information that I needed to see because now it confirms that I need to stop eating bacon. And then, so that's led me to learning more about cholesterol and, like, things to avoid, other things that, like, I'm starting to eat a little bit more, like fucking nuts and shit. Ew, Cheerios. Ugh, I have to fucking eat Cheerios now. I always would. I'm like, Cheerios is like the weirdest cereal. I always avoided it. I tried it a couple times and I was like, this is like old people food. No offense to older people out there, but this was like thoughts that I had when I was like a kid. And my mom was eating Cheerios, and I don't know what it was with that cereal brand. I just thought to myself, I will never fucking be eating Cheerios. That seems like a weird cereal. It's not even a good snack. Doesn't have a lot of flavor. Well, over the years they came up with the cinnamon honey nut stuff too, and there's flavors now for Cheerios. But now I understand why they're called heart healthy or whatever the fuck. Because they help cholesterol, whatever. So there's a couple of boxes of Cheerios in the house now. But the changes in the diet aren't like really dramatic, anyways. I don't really eat a whole bunch of different things as it is. It was just the bacon that I really loved and my chocolate. So I gave up the bacon. I'm still eating chocolate, but like not every day. And just a little bit less on the dairy stuff. And I'm feeling a little bit better. Not that I think I didn't before. But I'm just going to be honest. My goal right now is to get out of the high zone for cholesterol because as soon as I'm out of the high zone, I go back in 3 months to get more blood work, I'm sure. I'm going to go and get that fucking pack of bacon that I fucking want. The Smithfield Applewood smoked bacon. If they still got that, I'm fucking getting the package as soon as I'm out of the high zone. And then I'm going to enjoy that package. And then that's going to have to be the end of that for at least 2 months. I'm just being honest about, yeah, I have the information. It shows too much bacon. Not good for the body. Uh doesn't mean I don't want to eat it still in the future. And my wife was like, you can't have it. You just can't have all those pieces at one time, or as often. And I was like, yeah, but then what's the point? Have two or three slices? The normal amount that people eat? No, that's just a snack. Sad. Anyways, so that has led to me wanting to take better care of my body too. And I've already been losing weight. I attributed it to the bacon because that's all like I was eating for like the longest time, but um anyways, where I'm going with this is I got into hiking in areas I've never been to before. So this war is just continuing. Everything's fucking expensive. I don't know what's going to happen with this gas situation where we're apparently at the bottom of the fucking barrels. I don't understand what that means other than shit's really expensive. The prices are going to keep going up and pretty much people are going to have to yabba dabba do it everywhere. But until that happens, I still want to go and do things, but I have to do it closer to where we live because we don't have all that money to be paying in gas. Um So last week, I was looking around online and I found a preservation. Like they're called like natural preservations or something. Basically, it's just this preservation site that is like a camping ground. It's got a bunch of marked trails, and it was only a half hour away. And I decided to go there. Which maybe, it's not a big deal for a lot of people, but this is a big deal for me because I don't do things like this. Um, but I put the directions into the map thing on my phone and it was an easy drive. I found it easy enough. And I was so proud of myself. I was like, oh my God, I didn't tell anybody where I was going. Like, Alicia has me tracked on her phone now. So she could just pop that thing up and see where I'm at. So I just decided to go out there and I at least came prepared with like a backpack and water, bug spray, stuff like that. I wasn't prepared for the hell that I went through, which was one of the trails I went on. So basically, I should have done more research, but I was so thrilled that I found the exact spot I needed to be and that I was brave enough to like explore it. I was like, is this the preservation? Because I didn't see like signs right away. And then I started seeing the marked trails. I was like, I can't believe. Like I've gone to like state parks before on my own. Those are usually the populated ones. Definitely the one that like me and Alicia got married at. I frequent that. I haven't in a while, but I used to. That's as good as it got. That's only 15 minutes away. And It's Green Lakes. You can't get lost at Green Lakes, even though I kind of did on like the second lake the one time. But that's, anyways. Um, you don't have to pay anything to get in. It's just, you park and you pick a trail. And I figured, well, it's marked. I can't get lost as long as I pay attention to the trees. I thought it was a loop. I just assumed that all marked trails are loops. That's not true. And 3 hours later, I got back to my car. So I ended up, it was like a through trail where there was no loop. It's just straight through. It was an hour at least. It was not an easy hike. Like, there were branches, and I have dyspraxia. So I was like, oh my God, if I trip over something and hurt my ankle, it's just me. And there's no cell service, and I didn't have any map or something on me to download. Like, I just was kind of winging it. So I figured I'll just go all the way through this trail thing, and it'll lead me back out on the same side as where my car is. No, it was the other side, the fucking opposite side. And now at this point, like, I can't even have protein bars anymore. Like, not the regular kind that I had been getting because it's not good for the cholesterol. So I don't really have a whole lot of muscles. I've been losing a bunch of weight, but not really working on like building the muscles. So it was fucking torture. I get out, I'm on like a fucking road. It's not a busy road, it's a back road, but still. I pull my phone out and I pull up maps and I'm like, where am I? I am 1.4 miles away from my fucking car. I was not happy. And I was like, well, I guess I'm turning right around and going back through this forest because at least I know where my car is once I get to the other side. Then I was like, no, this was torture. The first, I would say, like the first part, no problem. There was like a 20-minute, I wanted to be anywhere else except hiking. It sucked. There was just climbing and, like creeks and shit. And then the back half of it wasn't so bad. So I was like, that torture part was really that bad. I don't want to go back through. So I was like, I'm just going to walk along the outside of the forest area and get back to my car that way. And that's what I did. But the sad thing was it was all uphill. And it's not even, it wasn't slightly uphill. It was majorly, it was like climbing a mountain. Up, 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 up. Nothing was flat. And the only time that it went down was like a few hundred feet before I got to my car. Well, it was bad. It was so, and I had to keep stopping. There was not really places to sit. I mean, I obviously I'm here, so I made it, but I lost a lot of weight that day. I was not prepared for like a 3 hour fucking hike. I thought my legs were gonna just give out on me. It was that bad. And then I was like, yeah, I need to be more prepared. So, but I did it and I was proud of myself. I was so proud because I had to rely on myself, and I usually rely on Alicia for pretty much everything when we're out and about. Um, like when we go hiking, I don't even look around. I mean, I do, but I don't look for marked anything. Like I just follow her because she always knows where she's going. So I didn't have any of that. It was just me. And then I saw how far away I was from my car, and I was like, oh my God. And then I started like having a mini spiral, and then I was like, no, people do this all the time. Like you went on the worst fucking trail you could have gone on as your first, and that's just that's just a fact. Now we have to get back to your car. Um so it ended up working out, and I was very present and aware of like how I was feeling, the thoughts I was having, my where I was at anxiety wise. Um And it was fun to tell Alicia that I went somewhere that she's never been because that's usually not how it goes. She goes somewhere that I haven't, like, I don't usually do things like this. So this past weekend, we both went. I took her. I was like, this is where I went. And I took her almost halfway through the same trail that I did, when I was by myself because I wanted to show her because it was really pretty. It was so pretty. I ran into nobody. I couldn't believe it because I was trying to like find trails that were just away from people. And so she liked the area. And then last night, I was like, I've heard of the All Trails app, so I downloaded that on my phone, and I'm currently doing the 7-day free trial to see if I want to pay for a full year, which I might. I probably will because the only way you can download the trail maps is if you have the the paid version. Uh, and I definitely, need some of those maps downloaded in case I lose cell service. So I spent about an hour looking around on that app because I don't know how to read maps. I never was good at it. So today I decided, let me try somewhere new. So I went to there's just like a whole bunch of trails. Like we live near like a historic site. It's just water and trails. And we've never been, never bothered to, which seems weird to me because I went today on my own and I've never been in that area. I didn't know where I was going. Like I ended up finding it. And this one like connects into like different states. It goes all the fuck over. So I think I might just start going to the one that I found close to us because I pulled out my All Trails app and I turned it on, and the navigation thing was helpful because it found where I was and then it showed me, okay, here's the trails you could go, and I was able to read the map that way. And I ended up doing, was it almost 3 miles of a walk? Because this was way better. This was just flat pretty much the whole way. It's like biking trails. Um, there were some people fishing. There were, joggers, but like you could easily go 10, 15 minutes and not see anybody. And when I came home, because Alicia had gotten home from work, I was like, I felt like I was inside of a secret because on all sides, you just hear, like, not the whole way through, but at points you hear the traffic. And you're reminded that, like, through those trees is like the road and stuff. But, like, you forget about it for like the longest time because all you hear is like birds and just nature. So, and after a while, I just turned around and I found there was like so much I can explore, like just in that area. So I think I'll go back there this week, maybe tomorrow. And it's good exercise too. Um, Now I have a problem where like most of my clothes are like, especially my shorts, because all I do is I wear basketball shorts and they're like falling down now. So I have to get like smaller clothing, which that's not a bad problem to have, but it's also annoying because I don't like buying clothes or shopping for clothes or anything like that. But so there's this one part because we're getting thunderstorms today. So like by the time I turned around, it looked like rain was getting ready to move in and I wanted to get back to my car. I don't mind getting rained on, but I was trying to get back to the car to avoid it if possible. And I felt like I was on the first season of The Walking Dead. Imagine if that was real life. And my clothes are so loose on me and it was a little windy, so like my t-shirt's flapping in the wind and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I pretended that I was a walker, like, a zombie. I wish I didn't say that. Oh well, I did. And so I'm building up my muscles, and this is good for my POTS because I have chronic pain. Like, oh my god, POTS is annoying. um and I can't run anymore. Did I tell you that I realized recently that like if somebody wants to come at me and kill me, they're going to catch me. Like I won't be able to run away. Like I'll start, but I won't get far. And I just had to accept this about myself. Like, oh, maybe that'll change the more like hiking I do. But where it currently stands, like I can't really do anything that will speed up my heart rate too much because then I get overheated and then I get nauseous and then it triggers all the other shit. Um, but if I just keep it walking, And it's like a moderate walk, not like just putzing, even though I do some of that too. And I don't get like overheated or anything like that. I feel like I'm getting like really good exercise and I feel better. So, anyways, that's really all I got on here to say was I tried some new stuff. And I am not trying to be one of those people that is like lives on all trails and chats with other hikers and hey, did you see this trail and like mark stuff and like gets really enthusiastic. Like I totally am not. I am not like interested in that. But I've realized that I do actually like spending time by myself out in nature and exploring things on my own because I can go at my own pace. Like it's very peaceful and it's a good reprieve from just stuff, just this world and its bullshit. So, pretty proud of myself for doing things that made me anxious. Um, and yeah, like it really shouldn't take somebody that's been living across the street from you for as long as you've lived here, like suddenly being taken from cancer to make you rethink some things, but that's just how things work sometimes. And I at least want to be a little bit more brave and rely on myself more and remind myself that, like, you were able to do all kinds of shit for many, many years. You did it on your own. And just because you're not working in the traditional workforce, just because you don't have to go out and do all the things that you used to do, doesn't mean that you just have to hang out at home all the time because it's so comfortable. So, um, but anyways, that's all I got. Thank you very much for listening. I hope something in this was relatable. And goodbye.